Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Big Screens. I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, and today I want to talk about the big screens we see in grounds and, more importantly, the replays that get shown on those big screens. I'm always up for a good rugby chat, so do put comments below or reply on Twitter. Always up for a chat. And look, yep, in my my Lions jersey today, because obviously I got my Lions tickets yesterday. And I will be at the Blues game. I will also be at the first and third tests at Eden Park. So if you're going to be at any of those games, do drop me a line and let's have a quick beer. Also, I will be at the Pacifica Challenge, you know, the Wales versus Tonga and the New All Blacks versus Samoa game, the double header. So again, if you go into that game, drop me a line and we can say hi. So today, I wanted to talk about those big screens in the grounds that show replays. Because watching the gone blank, the Bulls Highlanders game at the weekend brought this back again to light as being an issue as to what's shown in grounds. So Wesley Naholo goes in and has a bit of a late hit on one of the Bulls players as he drops the ball and puts his shoulder in. And from one angle, it looks pretty nasty. He does put the shoulder in, the shoulder does make contact with the head, and from that angle it rightly gets the red card. Play had gone on, but the replay got shown on the big screen and the crowd gets involved with its booing and stuff. And there's been countless cases of this, both for and against every single team. So this is not a go at any particular broadcaster or any particular side really, but it's about controlling what gets shown on there. Later in that game, there is a kick through. Fanders overruns the ball gets into the try area, in the goal, and a try is given. And from one angle, where it looks fine. From another angle, it doesn't get shown until later. You see that maybe he could have dropped it, and it should really have been looked at. Now, I think it probably would have, for me, it looked like it probably was contact, but it was something that should have been looked at rather than just missed. But that didn't get shown till way after. And this is what comes down to who's controlling and what gets shown on the big screens in these games. Whenever you talk to any officials, whenever you talk to any teams, they'll always say, oh, it's independent. We don't have control of the replay, we're not using it for home field advantage in influencing the crowd and influencing the ref. Well, fine, you don't have direct control, but the host broadcaster, I believe, generally does. And let's be honest, the host broadcaster normally is going to have a feeling towards the home team. Now, when it's something like the Aviva Premiership or a derby game, that's probably not so much the case, and it probably isn't so much a problem. It's when we come to basically international games, where which obviously happens a lot in Super Rugby, where you have New Zealand sides taking on South African sides, Australian, Argentinian and Japanese sides. And so the host broadcaster is going to have people on their staff who will prefer the home team. And this also impacts international games. And we saw at the Bledisloe Cup last year, where the replay was shown at Eden Park, and a lot of booing came out about a player blocking, running a line that blocked another player, so they're from memory, and the try got disallowed. Now, these things are happening all of the time. Now, I'm choosing these examples obviously because these are things that I've watched, but I'm sure there are plenty of examples you could have if you've been at Twickenham, if you've been at Murrayfield or any other of these grounds. And I think we need to get to a situation where we have some rules as to what gets shown. Now, as a spectator in the ground, one of the things that we're having to do is compete, all the things the ground's having to do is compete against TV to get people there. New Zealand has become very much a sofa watching games. People do tend to watch on Sky instead, because you quite often get a better view. And they're experiencing this in the States, and one of the reasons why the Cowboys have two of the biggest screens in the world is to try and give as good as good an experience for the people in the ground as people get at home. So I understand we're going to have to show replays. That's definitely has to be there. But I think it's when. I think the replays should be shown so that it's long enough afterwards so that the referee doesn't use them to make a call, because they can be influenced by what gets shown, and so hence tries shouldn't be replayed until after the conversion has been taken. And other instances, again, shouldn't also be shown until afterwards, because I think that personally influence the outcome of the game. But do let me know your thoughts. Do you think these things should all be shown ahead of time and the crowd should just be allowed to get involved? It's part of home field advantage. Or do you think that, like me, that there should be set controls as to when on these big screens? I look forward to hearing from that. Please also don't forget to sign up for my newsletter, link above, in Twitter, down below, on YouTube. Give the old thumbs up on YouTube, and please do share it on Twitter with your friends with my Super Rugby predictions. So please look out for that.